Okay, hi. Let's get into the video, shall we? God damn it, I want to watch these.
No, get away from bad lesson.
Isn't this?
I'll watch it later. We have to watch this. No, not Scrapman. Although that's pretty cool. That's cooler, to be honest. These videos are pretty damn cool. But let's watch this video because it makes me pissed off, in particularly.
Perspective, the latter has shrunk, and so it can fit. Both are equal. This is the fundamental truth of the universe I ask you to ponder today. Both here and now are relative concepts, which goes against our everyday understanding of life, which is why it's so important to wrap your head around it. Not only is the universe...
I'm about to vomit. Okay, so, listen. I got a basic, theory about this video. And, you know what? It's not the first time he's made this video. But this was a year ago. And I swear to God, he made the same video, like, in the beginning of his career. You're wrong. The unfortunate problem is that you're wrong. Let's go and see the exact evidence that happens against you. And how the fuck can you fuck it up this badly? Kyle.
It's possible, but not simpler. Because the speed of light never changes, different observers will observe different spaces and times. For example, imagine that I have a laser clock on my spaceship. The laser fires a pulse, it reflects off a mirror, and then it comes back to indicate a tick on the clock. If both you and I aren't moving, or are moving at the same speed, we measure the same tick time. However, if you stay put and I start moving very quickly relative to you, you observe the path the laser pulse takes as longer, a diagonal zigzag, as I...
Yeah, you know what? The diagonal zigzag is fucking longer. Yep.
Moved between pulse, reflection, and detection. If the speed of light is constant, as postulated by relativity, the only way for this longer distance over time to equal the same speed value is for time to be longer. For the moving clock...
Okay, literally, you just said that you have a longer distance? It's not time that is longer. It doesn't take more time for the... It doesn't indicate... Oh my god. There isn't more time happening between each tick. There is more time before the light bounces from one place to another. It took longer for the light to actually get there because it's a larger distance. You literally said that it was a longer distance, and then you say, no, it's the time that's messed up.
To actually run slower. If the speed of light can't change, something else has to.
The distance.
This is time dilation, and it really does mean that if you were watching my ship...
I'm not even joking. Yeah, you lost that the diagonal is a longer distance, meaning that time... Meaning more time for the light to travel? Meaning the clock is not accurate? Beep yourself, Kyle.
Speed past you and you looked at my watch, it would literally be ticking more slowly than your watch.
And I don't care how fast my watch is ticking if I don't compensate for the speed equals a greater distance for the light to travel between two mirrors. If I'm not doing that calculation correctly, with like a goddamn computer that accurately checks my speed, and basically you can check speed. Did you know that you can check speed without relative time measuring technology? Guess what? It's called the amount of mercury that is in a vial will equal a certain, well, okay, let's say that, what if everything also contracts? Well, that's interesting. But let's say it doesn't for a certain speed. And you go let's say that you go 1/10 the speed of light or something. Let's say you go a couple of levels of gravity more, the speed necessary to increase your g-forces, right? Whatever that is, I don't know. Right? Is gravity 90 meters per second squared or something? Well, let's say you move at 180 meters per second squared. Whatever. Let's say you do that. Then you have twice the gravity, meaning the volumes of whatever that you have in your vials should compress at a predictable rate. This is how you can check your speed without checking the clock. And then you can calculate how fast the time should be, and therefore you would know if there's actually time dilation or not. And if you're not doing that, you're not doing correct science. You're just doing math on a piece of paper, which is basically what he does later. I hate the fact that you made this video. Take it down, make a new video, say the correct information. This is false. This is not, look, there's something dumb about NASA that comes to these conclusions, and yet Kyle, with his individual brain, didn't correct the information. He just spat it out. You have the time to make the correct information be put out. You have the ability to reflect on what you're thinking. You do this all the fucking time. With like 2-hour long extra information and Fermi paradox or calculations. You do this on these live streams that you have. Right, there's an entire live stream section where you do talk for like hours at a time about any given topic. If you're going to do that, you might as well put in the correct amount of time to do the calculations and the stuff, and even a basic simulation, which you can do. Light travels a certain distance, right? So if I'm moving at 1 meter per second, the speed of light, being constant, will only have a certain amount of time to move in that distance. If I move twice as fast, 2 meters per second, then light has twice the distance to travel to get to its thing on the reflection of the clock. And twice the distance when it comes to light is a very tiny fraction, because the speed of light is so big that it's like near 300 million meters per second. It's near that. It's 299 whatever meters per second. So when you're moving an extra 1 meter per second, you can take that 1 meter out of the 300 million per second. It's not exactly half. But let's say you're moving half the speed of light. Now you're making it take twice as long to move that distance. So you'll notice time is shrunk down to half the ticking of the clock, if that's how you measure it. Which means your clock is absolutely freaking wrong.
And to correct for the fact that if I tipped my laser clock sideways and fired a pulse from the back of my ship to the front, it would look like it is either too long or too short of a time, there is also length contraction, which literally compresses me, according to you, along my direction of motion. These two...
Yeah, you know what also makes length contraction? The force of gravity. Or the force of pressure of you moving forward fast enough, you're going to start being pushed back into your seat. You start moving even faster, you're going to start compressing yourself, literally pressurized towards the back of the seat. Your body will start liquefying and all squishing towards each other. You'll get lots of bruises and stuff everywhere. Your rib cage is going to collapse. Will make it harder for you to breathe. G-forces are freaking intense when you move at certain speeds. When you get closer to the speed of light, you're going to liquefy. So that's just the physics of motion. Length contraction? Yeah, sure. Without talking about how gravity also comes into play, like your own mass going at speed, the air pressure all compressing. You're not just being pulled back, it's the air in the cabin also pulling you back. So if you're in a ship that's going at speed, you want to be in a space suit and have as little air in the thing that can compress as possible. Meaning the only thing that can come towards you is 1, light, and 2, your own ship. Go and decompress the entire thing. That way you don't have the air, which is up to like multiple bars of air. Eventually, the faster and faster you go, the more gravity you have. Let's say you have 10 times the gravity. Air is pressing around at you with a very small amount of pressure per square centimeter. But if you increase the gravity by going fast enough, you're going to end up with a larger amount of air pressure and stuff. Eventually, the air itself is going to be like having elephants pressing against you, and that doesn't feel nice. Whatever. Delete this video, Kyle. You should know better.